Imagine this. You wake up tomorrow, swing your legs over the edge of the bed, and feel a slight wobble. No big deal, you think it's just a momentary glitch. But what if that innocent wobble was your body's first silent warning of disaster ahead? Fast forward a mere 2 weeks, you're reaching casually for a kitchen cabinet. Then it happens, your world flips upside down as you lose your footing and crash violently onto the unforgiving floor. Before you even process what's happened, flashing ambulance lights flood your driveway and paramedics urgently strap you into a stretcher. The next thing you know, you're in an emergency room, doctors exchanging grave glances as they tell you your hip is shattered. Your blood runs cold when they explain that regaining full mobility might never be possible again. Now trapped in a nightmare of hospital beds, agonizing physical therapy, and escalating medical bills, you realize your independence is slipping away perhaps forever. Every single step becomes a gamble, each move filled with crippling anxiety and dread that the next fall could leave you wheelchair-bound or worse. Think this scenario sounds too terrifying to be true. Think again. Ignoring the advice I'm about to share could plunge you headfirst into this frightening reality far sooner than you dare imagine, especially if you're over 70. But here's the critical truth that could save your life. This horrifying future is not inevitable. Stick around because in the next few moments you'll uncover the single most powerful move, shockingly simple yet ruthlessly effective, that can reverse your body's deadly decline toward frailty. Turn away now and you risk sentencing yourself to an endless cycle of broken bones, overwhelming medical expenses, and suffocating fear. But keep watching and you might just preserve your precious freedom and avoid becoming yet another grim statistic. Transition, a real clinical snapshot. Not long ago, I interviewed a veteran nurse from a rehabilitation center. She recalled a case of a 72-year-old retired school bus driver, let's call him Raymond, who had always prided himself on keeping calm under pressure. He could navigate chaotic streets and screaming students while maintaining perfect composure. But in his personal life, he'd grown lax about daily exercise. One day, he missed a step while carrying groceries in from his car. The result was a shattered knee and 5 days in the hospital. His physical therapist told him that if he had practiced a few basic balance exercises daily, that agonizing accident might have been preventable. Hearing that story in the nurse's trembling voice revealed a simple but potent lesson: we can't take stability for granted, especially once we pass 70. In today's video, we'll dive deep into 4 crucial moves that fortify your strength and agility, starting with the single best exercise for preventing dangerous tumbles. We'll then outline 3 more supportive movements that together build a robust foundation against life-altering slips. But that's not all. The deeper you read, the clearer the science becomes, and the more prepared you'll feel to take action. So let's dissect the why, the how, and the real cost of ignoring these straightforward steps. Science and fear factor: how balance declines and why it matters. Before we delve into the specific movements, let's ground ourselves in a crucial reality. Balance is not just about muscles. It's an interplay between sensory systems like sight and the inner ear, the brain's coordination centers and muscle strength. As we age, several processes converge to chip away at our equilibrium. Joints become stiffer, nerves transmit signals more slowly, and muscle mass can wane unless we make a conscious effort to maintain it. According to the World Health Organization, WHO 2018, Global Report on Falls Prevention, falls are the second leading cause of accidental injury deaths worldwide, with older adults at the highest risk. Meanwhile, Dr. Michael Greger, MD, 2020, American Journal of Lifestyle Medicine, emphasizes that after the age of 70, the rate of muscle loss accelerates significantly, making fall prevention strategies more critical than ever. These insights echo through every story of an older adult who broke a hip and never fully recovered. While the fear might be uncomfortable, let it fuel your determination. If you stay passive, that momentary stumble can become a permanent life changer. To fortify your resolve, let's weave in an even starker reminder. A shocking number of individuals who suffer serious fractures struggle with complications like blood clots and pneumonia. Some even face an elevated risk of stroke, partly because a prolonged period of immobility can lead to poor circulation. The Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, 2019. Journal of Aging and Health has published data linking sedentary post-fall recoveries to heightened risks of stroke in cardiovascular events. Let that sink in. A fall is not just about a few bruises. It's a gateway to a cascade of health calamities. Solution overview. One exercise to begin, three more to reinforce. Fortunately, the remedy doesn't require expensive gyms or complicated workout regimens. The focus is on four fundamental exercises, starting with a single leg stand, an unassuming move that reawakens the body's internal balancing act. Then we'll explore the heel-to-toe walk, the set-to-stand routine without using hands and the standing march in place. The synergy of these moves done consistently can be your shield against a potentially catastrophic fall, but we won't stop there. You'll also get a 7-day checklist to keep you disciplined, along with case studies of older adults who reclaimed their independence through these precise strategies. By the end, you'll not only have a game plan, but also the firm conviction that it's never too late to regain stability. Well, Section 1. The single leg stand, your first line of defense. Let's plunge into the heart of the matter, the single leg stand. At first glance, it seems almost trivial. Just lift one foot off the ground while the other supports your weight. But this simple movement sets off a remarkable chain reaction in your body. When you stand on one leg, your ankles, knees, hips, and even core muscles spring into action to keep you upright. It's like flipping a switch that re-engages the neuromuscular connections responsible for stable posture. Think of these connections as the wires in a control system that can degrade from disuse or age. When you are younger, everyday activities, running to catch a bus or balancing on a curb, keep those neural circuits well-oiled. After 70, we often sidestep these small daily balance challenges. The result, those wires get rusty, but the single leg stand polishes them back into shape, forcing the small stabilizing muscles around your joints to wake up and do their job. By focusing on this single move for just a few seconds a day, you're not only building muscle tone, you're also training your nervous system. In practice, that can mean the difference between a terrifying fall and a quick recovery. If you suddenly lose your footing, you might try it near a sturdy kitchen counter to start. Let's say you lift your right foot just a few inches off the floor and hold it there for 10 seconds. If you feel wobbly, grab the counter for support. Over time, push to 15 seconds, then 20 or even 30. Each second is an investment in preserving your independence. This seemingly small effort has profound impacts on day-to-day life. Consider a composite example. Esther, 75, used to laugh when her kids told her to practice balancing exercises. Then she slipped on a wet bathroom tile and bruised her hip. Determined not to let that happen again, she committed to the single leg stand twice a day for a month. To her amazement, she noticed that stepping off curbs and leaning over to tie her shoes felt more secure. That renewed sense of security gave her the courage to start walking around her neighborhood again, eventually restoring her social life with friends. Balance training is not just about preventing falls, it's about preserving a sense of control. States Dr. Michael Greger, MD, 2020, American Journal of Lifestyle Medicine. That sense of control extends into every moment you're on your feet. It influences whether you decide to walk on a lawn for a picnic or climb a short ladder to reach a shelf. The single leg stand, in essence, is your daily reassurance that your body still knows how to protect itself. Now let's insert a 24-hour challenge. If you're skeptical, make a pact with yourself for the next 24 hours. Whenever you stand by the sink to wash dishes or brush your teeth, lift one foot for a few seconds. That's it. Keep track of how often you do it, and by the end of the day, note if you feel even a bit more stable. It's a tiny habit that can catalyze massive change. And remember, consult your physician before starting any new routine, especially if you have pre-existing conditions. Section 2, the heel-to-toe walk, retrain your coordination. Next on our list is the heel-to-toe walk, which demands deliberate, slow steps. It might conjure images of a police officer testing for sobriety, but there's a scientific reason for its effectiveness. It conditions your brain to focus on each step, enhancing spatial awareness. This exercise is especially critical for those who find themselves tripping over small objects or feeling unstable on uneven ground. According to the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, 2019, Journal of Aging and Health, mindful walking drills can significantly reduce the likelihood of falls by reinforcing the neural pathways associated with gait stability. In plain English, this means that when you place your heel directly in front of your other foot's toes, Your entire body must engage hips, core, shoulders. They all have to align to keep you from swaying. Imagine doing this in a hallway. Place your right heel against the toes of your left foot, then shift your weight and move your left foot so its heel meets the toes of your right. Do this for several steps, arms extended if you need extra balance. Over time, you'll notice improvements in posture and in how quickly you can recover if you slip. It's like teaching your body to catch itself in slow motion so it can do so instantly in real life. Not sure it's worth the time? Consider the story of Annette, a 78-year-old caretaker for her grandchildren. She always told people she was perfectly fine until she accidentally stumbled on a sidewalk crack. Though she didn't suffer a major injury, the scare was enough to prompt her to try the heel-to-toe walk daily. Within weeks, she felt more in control of her steps. She even tested this new skill on a nature trail with loose gravel, something she would have avoided earlier out of fear. By the way, if you want an extra challenge, try the heel-to-toe walk with your eyes looking forward rather than at the ground. This further trains the brain to rely on all available inputs. Proprioception, muscle memory, and peripheral vision instead of just sight. Proceed carefully at first. And as always, consult your physician if you feel any pain or unusual discomfort. We're not aiming to create super athletes. We're aiming to sharpen reflexes and reacquaint your body with the art of steady locomotion. We often lose the ability to balance long before we lose the strength to support our weight notes. The World Health Organization 2018 Global Report on Falls Prevention. The heel-to-toe walk is a methodical re-education for your body, reminding it how to move fluidly. That fluidity can be the difference between strolling confidently and clinging to walls for support. Section 3, sit to stand without hands, rebuilding lower body power. If you've ever noticed older relatives pushing themselves up from a chair with both arms, you've witnessed the subtle sign of weakening leg muscles. The third exercise is the sit to stand routine without using your hands. In many ways, it's a test of your thighs, hips, and core strength. Fail that test, and daily tasks become mountainous obstacles. Getting out of cars, climbing stairs, or simply moving from the dining table to the couch can turn into daunting challenges. This exercise is straightforward to begin. Use a stable chair. Sit near the edge with your feet flat on the ground. Cross your arms over your chest and then engage your leg muscles to stand. Avoid the temptation to use your hands when you lower yourself back down. Move slowly. Think of it as controlling your descent rather than plopping into the seat. Each repetition forces your muscles to manage your body weight in a highly functional way. Over time, performing this movement repeatedly can significantly increase your lower body power. Why does that matter? Because a strong lower body provides the foundation for safe, confident movement. If your muscles can handle the weight transitions of standing up, then stepping onto a sidewalk curb or pivoting around a corner becomes infinitely safer. One slip of the foot is less likely to morph into a life-changing fall. Case in point, Martin, a 73-year-old accountant, spent most of his days seated. He noticed that getting up from a chair started feeling like lifting a giant boulder. After an embarrassing moment, when he couldn't rise quickly to answer the door, he finally embraced the sit-to-stand exercise. Within a month of daily practice, just 5 or 6 repetitions each morning, Martin reported better stability, and even his climbing of stairs improved. Now you might worry about knee pain or arthritic joints. That concern is valid. Always check with your doctor if you have existing knee or hip issues. But know that gentle, controlled practice can strengthen the surrounding muscles, often helping to reduce stress on the joint itself. If necessary, you can modify by using a slightly higher seat or by starting with fewer repetitions. This movement trains your body in a task you repeat multiple times a day. Overcoming gravity from a seated position is basic yet vital. Reinforce the associated muscles and you give yourself a better chance of preventing instability throughout your day. If you're still skeptical, remember the difference between a safe daily routine and a tumble on the way to answer the phone could hinge on how readily you can plant your feet and rise in a moment's notice. Section 4, Standing March, Restoring Rhythm and Alertness. Finally, let's talk about the standing march. It might look childlike, alternatingly lifting your knees as if you're in a parade, but don't dismiss it. This move helps maintain crucial coordination between your arms, legs, and core. As you raise one knee, your brain and muscles must balance your weight on the other foot. Then you switch. It's a dance of stability and posture that keeps you alert. What many older adults don't realize is that their gait often shrinks with time. The steps become shorter. The arms barely swing. This restricted movement hinders the natural momentum that makes walking stable and efficient. By practicing the standing march, you remind your body how it used to move more rhythmic, more dynamic, and better able to adapt to small shifts. A typical way to start is by standing near a counter for support. Lift your right knee to hip level if possible, or as high as comfortable, then switch to the left. After a few cycles, you'll feel your core engage and your calves tighten. Gradually, you can speed up the march or even swing your arms gently to mimic a normal stride. If you're ambitious, turn on some music with a consistent beat and try to synchronize your steps. Consider the story of Yvonne, a 76-year-old who'd been nervous about dancing at her grandson's wedding because she felt unsteady. She took up standing marches in her living room daily, sometimes to her favorite old tunes. 2 months later, she found herself on the dance floor, swaying and stepping without fear. She credited those simple practice marches for reawakening her sense of balance and her joy in movement. From a scientific standpoint, the standing march activates proprioception, the sense of where your body parts are in space. It also engages the hip flexors, an easily overlooked muscle group critical for stable walking. You're retraining the link between mind and body, says Dr. Michael Greger, MD, 2020, American Journal of Lifestyle Medicine. That heightened awareness carries over into daily activities, decreasing the likelihood of stumbles. As always, if you feel pain or strain, ease up and consult your physician. These exercises should challenge you but not damage you. The goal is progress, not perfection. Even if you can only manage a few marches at first, celebrating small wins is part of the journey. Over weeks and months, those small victories add up to a renewed ability to navigate life with a measure of confidence. Missing Spark Edition: The Dangers of Inactivity and a 7-Day Challenge. One crucial spark that the original conversation about balance might miss is highlighting the wide-ranging dangers of physical inactivity. In fact, a chronic lack of movement doesn't just put you at risk of a single fall. It can trigger a domino effect of metabolic and cardiovascular complications. By ignoring daily exercise, you increase the odds of deteriorating bone density, muscle atrophy, and even compromised cardiovascular health. And yes, that can elevate the risk of stroke over time. To ensure you seize this moment, let's propose a 7-day challenge. Each day for a week, you'll commit to doing the single leg stand, heel-to-toe walk, sit-to-stand routine, and standing march at least one round of each. Jot down how long you can hold the single leg stand. Record how many successful heel-to-toe steps you can complete without losing balance. Count how many sit-to-stands you can manage in a row, and track how many standing march steps you do. By the end of day 7, reflect on how your body feels. Keep it realistic. You don't need to do 50 reps or stand on one leg for a full minute right away. Aim for small improvements, perhaps raising your hold time in the single leg stand from 10 seconds to 20, or adding one extra sit-to-stand each day. This challenge is meant to jumpstart your routine and prove to yourself that daily effort can create noticeable change. The accountability factor can be huge. Share your progress with a friend or even write your daily achievements on a calendar. If you have an online social circle, let them know you're tackling a 7-day stability upgrade. The more people who know, the more likely you are to follow through. And if you're comfortable, come back here and post a comment about your progress. Let's build a community of individuals determined to remain steady on their feet. If you find yourself needing an extra push, consider the long-term stakes. A single fall can lead to hospital stays, loss of independence, and piles of medical bills. Meanwhile, a simple commitment to short daily exercises can help keep you out of the emergency room. The contrast couldn't be starker. When you weigh the small inconvenience of a daily drill against the massive upheaval of a debilitating injury, the choice becomes obvious. Lastly, don't view this challenge as a fleeting project. Think of it as the start of a new habit. 7 days can become 14, then 30, then a lifelong practice. As you proceed, vary the exercises or increase their intensity slightly to keep your body progressing. If you ever feel pain, remember to consult your physician immediately. An individualized approach might be necessary if you have specific health conditions. Deeper science. The neuromuscular connection and brain health. Why are these exercises so potent? The answer lies in the neuromuscular connection, the lines of communication between your brain and your muscles. Over the years, certain neural pathways weaken if not regularly stimulated. Just as a foreign language gets rusty if you never speak it, your balance and coordination deteriorate if you rarely challenge them. But here's the uplifting part: neuroplasticity. The brain's ability to reorganize itself doesn't vanish with age. While it might decline, it's still present. By consistently practicing balance drills, you're effectively rewiring your brain to prioritize stability. This repeated rehearsal speeds up your reflexes so you can catch yourself if you misstep. That's what the single leg stand, heel to toe walk, sit to stand, and standing march collectively reinforce. Additionally, regular movement helps maintain healthy blood flow to the brain. In older adults, physical exercise that challenges coordination correlates with sharper cognitive function, reports the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. 2019 Journal of Aging and Health. This can translate into better memory and quicker thinking, which can be critical if you need to react swiftly to avoid a fall. Consider how everything in your body is interconnected. If you keep your legs strong, you stay active. If you stay active, your cardiovascular system works better. When your cardiovascular system works better, your brain gets more oxygen. A well-oxygenated brain is more capable of orchestrating rapid, complex movements. So these simple exercises can set off a chain reaction of health benefits beyond mere balance, potentially reducing your risk of stroke and heart conditions. However, it's important to note that these exercises are not a substitute for professional medical advice. If you have unique circumstances like advanced osteoporosis, severe arthritis, or a history of neurological issues, tailor the exercises in consultation with your healthcare provider. Consult your physician is not just a legal disclaimer. It's an essential step to ensure you're making choices that complement your overall treatment plan. You may be wondering, how soon can you see results? The body's adaptability varies, but if you're consistent, you might notice improvements in stability within a few weeks. Think about how quickly your muscles can gain strength with resistance training. The same principle applies here, except your primary resistance is gravity in your own body weight. It's not about overnight miracles. It's about steady, sustainable progress that stands between you and a catastrophic fall. Additional case studies, real-life comeback stories. To illustrate the impact more vividly, let's explore 3 anonymized case studies beyond Raymond Esther, Annette Martin, and Yvonne. These stories highlight different lifestyles and medical hurdles, but underscore the universal potential of simple exercises. Case study: A. Lucinda, 74, retired florist. Lucinda spent decades arranging bouquets in her bustling shop, constantly bending over counters. Her posture slipped with time. She also neglected to do much physical activity outside her job. After retiring, she found her balance faltering. Under a physical therapist's guidance, she started the single leg stand and sit to stand exercise. Within 2 months, she noticed she could walk around her garden without feeling dizzy. She credits these specific drills for restoring a sense of peace and eliminating her fear of toppling onto her prized roses. Case study B. Harold, 80, former construction worker. Despite a physically demanding career, Harold scaled back all exercise once he retired. A mild stroke left him with shaky coordination. His doctor recommended he incorporate the heel-to-toe walk and a modified standing march. Harold began to see an improvement in his gait after 4 weeks. His confidence soared, and he no longer clung to furniture while moving around his living room. He still does these exercises, daily calls them my lifeline against the next stroke. Case study C. Nancy, 71, part-time librarian. Nancy's job involved archiving books, which forced her to do a lot of bending and lifting. She began noticing stiffness in her knees and ankles. A friend told her about the single leg stand. Though she could barely maintain it for 5 seconds initially, Nancy stuck with it. Soon she progressed to 20 seconds on each leg and also added in the sitting to standing routine. 6 weeks later, she found she could squat to pick up books without fearing her knees would buckle. Her orthopedist remarked that her improved balance might lower her risk of serious falls in the future. Each of these individuals faced unique obstacles, postural challenges, after effects of a stroke, or simple stiffness from daily tasks. Yet the solution for all of them involved returning to basic exercises that demand no fancy machinery. Their stories confirm an uplifting truth: It's never too late to reclaim the foundation of balance that so many of us take for granted. Still feeling unsure about your own journey? That's normal, but let these experiences show you that progress is possible no matter your age or starting point. Embrace the small daily steps literally and watch how each success nudges you towards safer mobility. And if you ever feel unsteady, always have a sturdy object or person nearby for support. The point is not to be reckless, but to train consistently. Additional tips: supportive habits, follow-up schedules, and nutrition. So you've committed to these 4 exercises, but you're eager for more ways to amplify the benefits. Consider layering in a few additional habits. For instance, using a balanced diet to support your muscles and bones can speed up your progress. Dr. Michael Greger, MD, in 2020 American Journal of Lifestyle Medicine, frequently highlights the importance of a nutrient-rich diet, citing whole foods, vegetables, fruits, beans, and whole grains as pillars for muscle repair and bone density maintenance. Adequate calcium, vitamin D, and protein can help your body adapt to exercise. Foods like fortified plant milks, leafy greens, and legumes can be your allies. If you have the green light from your physician, consider a vitamin D supplement, especially if you spend limited time in sunlight. The stronger your bones, the lower your risk of fractures. If you do slip, hydration is another underrated factor. Even mild dehydration can affect balance by causing dizziness. Make it a habit to drink water regularly throughout the day, especially before and after doing your exercises. If you're taking medications that influence fluid balance or blood pressure, check in with your doctor for specific guidance on hydration. Don't forget footwear. Slippery soles or ill-fitting shoes can undermine all your hard work. Opt for supportive, well-fitted shoes with slip-resistant soles. Some individuals also benefit from orthotic insoles that provide extra arch or heel support, stabilizing foot alignment. Your choice of footwear can either sabotage or reinforce the muscle memory you build in your exercises. When it comes to scheduling, aim for at least 3 sessions a week of these 4 exercises. If you can manage them daily, all the better. Many people prefer splitting them into short morning and evening sessions. This frequent, low-intensity approach helps cement new neural pathways without overwhelming your body. And once a month, reassess your progress. Measure how long you can hold the single leg stand or how many sit-to-stands you can do. Use these benchmarks to gauge improvements. As always, if you notice persistent pain or if your balance worsens despite consistent effort, it's time for a medical evaluation. Physical therapists can offer personalized modifications. Cardiologists might want to check if an irregular heartbeat contributes to dizziness. By staying in communication with healthcare professionals, you ensure that your path toward better balance aligns with your broader health profile. Action plan: a step-by-step checklist. 1 single leg stand. Topironier frequency. At least once a day per leg, holding as long as comfortable. Support. Keep a chair or counter nearby for stability. Progression: increase hold time by a few seconds each week. Way goal: reach 30 seconds without support if possible. Tway heel-to-toe walk. Bashurun frequency 1 to 2 times daily, aiming for 10 to 15 slow steps each session. High support: use a wall or hallway for initial stability. Progression: gradually shift your gaze forward instead of at your feet. Sibiduwursurum. Goal: complete a full hallway without wobbling. 3 sit-to-stand without hands. Frequency: 5 to 10 repetitions once or twice a day. Support if needed. Start with a higher chair or fewer reps. Progression: lower the chair height or add more repetitions. Goal: perform 10 reps fluidly, building lower body strength. Or standing march in place. Frequency: 30-60 seconds once or twice a day. Support: hold on to a countertop if needed initially. Progression: increase knee height or march for longer intervals. Taboshar goal: march confidently without support for a minute or more. Fiyuwaserpanun, Kimatsarinun, 4 follow-up schedule. Weekly check, measure improvements in hold times and repetitions. Surnure monthly review. Record your progress, time, reps, effort, and adjust goals. Nikroishi, consult your physician. If you notice pain or if progress stalls unexpectedly. Nuance. 6 meal targets. Protein: prioritize beans, lentils, tofu, or lean meats for muscle repair. Shranashran. Calcium and vitamin D. Incorporate leafy greens, fortified milks, or supplements if approved. Hydration: aim for 6 to 8 cups of water per day unless contraindicated by your doctor. Call to comment. Have you ever noticed this sign? Comment, "I feel it," if you relate. "I'm safe if not," and add a question for the doctor. Feel free to mention any subtle sway or misstep that's alerted you to your changing balance. This community thrives on shared experiences and solutions. By posting your own account, you might inspire someone who's hesitating to begin these exercises. Honor virality boost empowering others and stirring discussion. We've all heard cautionary tales of friends or relatives who ended up bedridden after a fall, yet too many of us assume we're exempt, that is, until the day we find ourselves flat on the kitchen floor. Don't let complacency lull you into a false sense of security. Share this video or script with anyone you know who is creeping past 70 and might be flirting with danger. Encourage them to attempt the 7-day challenge with you. You can swap stories. Maybe you add 1 second to your single leg stand each day, and they try to close their eyes for a portion of the hold. You become a team cheering each other on. That camaraderie can be the spark that transforms a dreaded workout into a game of daily victories. You can even make it a group event at a senior center or church gathering. Set aside 10 minutes, line up chairs, and go through these 4 exercises together. People often feel more motivated when they see others their age making strides in balance training. This social reinforcement not only builds a healthy habit, but also fosters a sense of belonging and positivity. If you're worried about the monotony of repetition, spice it up. Play music from your younger days while standing in place and marching. Use a timer to see if you can maintain your single leg stand to the beat of a favorite tune. For the sit to stand drill, imagine you're preparing to greet a close friend. Rise with eagerness, then lower yourself gracefully. Make it fun, imaginative, and uplifting. Remember, accidents don't schedule themselves. If your body isn't prepared for sudden missteps, a random slip can land you in the ER in seconds. Balance training is your best insurance policy. So treat these exercises like a daily must-do, as important as brushing your teeth. The payoff, freedom of movement, is immeasurable. In closing, your older self will thank you for the steps you take today. The sense of independence you preserve is priceless. Never forget that the difference between a life of cautious half steps and one of confident strides might just be this short daily regimen. You deserve to walk into your future with both feet firmly planted on the ground. Ethical reminder: consult your physician. While these strategies are both safe and effective for most older adults, never abandon any existing care plan without consulting your physician. If you're on medication for blood pressure, diabetes, or other chronic conditions, make sure that adding exercises, even these gentle ones, aligns with your overall treatment. A short check-in with a healthcare professional can ensure you're not accidentally overexerting yourself. Your doctor might even offer additional suggestions, such as physical therapy sessions or specialized balance tests. They might recommend adjusting your diet to maximize bone health. The point is, these 4 exercises fit neatly into most medical advice, but they're not a substitute for personalized guidance. Keep your care team informed and use these moves to complement your larger health strategy. Remember, it's about synergy. Good nutrition, proper medication, management, mindful exercise combined, they become your fortress against the physical frailties that loom in later years. Taking that broader, integrated view ensures that you're not just addressing balance, but also safeguarding your overall health. In the end, your ability to enjoy family gatherings, trips to the store, and spontaneous outings depends on a sturdy foundation of health-conscious habits. If your physician suggests modifications like using a walker or adjusting foot placement during the single leg stand, listen. Everyone's body has its quirks, injuries, or limitations. The goal is to do these exercises in a manner that nurtures stability without causing undue stress. Pain is a sign to pause, reassess, and modify. This cautionary note isn't here to scare you away from exercise. On the contrary, it's a necessary reminder that well-informed, intentional steps will be more impactful than random efforts. The more closely you collaborate with healthcare providers, the safer and more effective your balance training becomes. In other words, keep your medical team in the loop, remain consistent with your practice, and watch your confidence soar as your risk of falls plummets. That is the best of both worlds: peace of mind and a sturdy body for tackling everyday life. To recap and final takeaways, let's summarize 3 essential points. 1. Never underestimate balance. It's a complex interplay of muscles, nerves, and mental focus. Even the most basic exercises like the single leg stand can restore neural pathways and bolster your stability. 2. Consistency is non-negotiable. Doing these drills occasionally won't cut it. Integrate them into your daily or weekly routine. Track your progress and celebrate small wins. 3. Whole body benefits. Proper balance training not only decreases the odds of a catastrophic fall, but can also enhance cardiovascular and brain function. By staying active and mindful, you reduce the risk of stroke and other health complications. Thank you for watching and reading all the way through. If you found this information valuable, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with others who could benefit. We want to spread the message far and wide. You can block falls over 70, and you can keep your life vibrant and mobile. Now, for one final question to fuel discussion, what's your biggest obstacle to staying consistent with balance exercises, and what might help you overcome it? Let us know in the comments. Your experience could be the spark someone else needs to find their own solution. Stay safe, stay strong, and never stop believing in your body's capacity to adapt, no matter your age.